Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to 5 Minutes of Torah with the Beth Israel Rabbi. Chag Orim Sameach. Today is actually the last day of Hanukah. During the holiday of Hanukah, we celebrate the victory of the Maccabees over the Assyrian Seleucid Empire in returning the land of Israel to political and religious freedom for the Jewish people. On this night, we are finally concluding the holiday of Hanukah. There have been 8 nights previously, and now the 8th day of Hanukah today. When I think about Hanukah, I also think about the fact that we were finally able to reclaim our Beit HaMikdash, our temple, the central place of worship for the Jewish people in the time period. The second temple, the first temple, were the forerunners of our synagogues, truly the forerunners of Jewish institutional life. It makes me actually think about the fact that over the course of my 48 years in this world, I've actually been involved in exactly 8 institutions, 6 of which I studied in, and 2 of which I was a rabbi. The very first institution in which I studied, which I actually dedicated 13 years of my life from kindergarten to grade 12, was a place called Shady Side Academy, the private school of Pittsburgh, which had a very long history, actually founded first in 1885. I spent 13 years studying at Shady Side Academy, and it truly prepared me for the rest of my life. This non-Jewish school, which for most of my career was actually 1/3 Jewish while I was there, gave me the intellectual and learning foundation that I would need for university and rabbinical school. From there, I went to Brandeis University, where I actually was at Brandeis for 3 years, because in my 3rd year, I went to Hebrew University in Jerusalem. Between these 2 institutions for my undergraduate career, I had the opportunity to lay the foundation for an understanding of both Jewish history and education. And from there, I went to the Jewish Theological Seminary, where I spent 6 years studying for the rabbinate. One of those 6 years, actually, though, was in Jerusalem, at a place called Mechon Shechter. Mechon Shechter is the conservative rabbinical school in Israel, and the Jewish Theological Seminary in New York was the first conservative rabbinical school in North America. These institutions, Mechon Shechter and the Jewish Theological Seminary, gave me an opportunity to study Jewish text in a very serious way, to increase my level and knowledge of Hebrew as well as my knowledge of Jewish history. The combination of these institutions, plus 1 year that I spent between Brandeis University and the Jewish Theological Seminary in Jerusalem, at a place called Pardes, I was given an opportunity to prepare for my career of becoming a rabbi. And my first job, my first institution actually in which I worked, was a place called the Marlborough Jewish Center in Marlborough, New Jersey. 4 years at the Marlborough Jewish Center as an assistant rabbi, and then moved to Vancouver. And I've been here now for almost 15 years, actually in Vancouver longer than any other place in my entire life in terms of institutional life. The most I had ever been in one particular place was Shady Side Academy for 13 years. And I've been here now with my family for almost 15 years. We haven't had an opportunity to grow the synagogue in terms of its physical size, to grow the synagogue in terms of its membership, to grow our own family. When we arrived, there were 4 of us. Now there are 5 of us. We've had an opportunity to mature together. We've had opportunities to celebrate together and to see, as especially in this past year, some very challenging times. I believe that institutions can strengthen us as individuals, and institutions strengthen us as a community. And so I look forward to seeing the institution of Congregation Beth Israel growing, and indeed celebrating more smachot and opportunities over the course of the years to come. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Orim Sameach.